Okay, the grape juice is done and we're getting ready to turn it into jelly. So, since I have my phone and I don't have a camera that I can stand anywhere yet, I'm going to show you what everything looks like now, and then I'm going to pour the juice into the pot and I'm going to set everything up so I can do it one-handed. This is my kitchen. There's some dirty dishes in the sink. I don't have a separate, canning kitchen or anything like that. This is just my everyday kitchen, and everyday things happen in here. I have dinner going over here in the crock pot. It's potatoes and kielbasa, and I just threw a bag of mixed veggies in there. There's some sweet peas and carrots and broccoli and peppers. Some things that I've harvested from the garden. Some of our garlic. Just a couple little tiny peppers. There's one of my dogs. That's Barley Bean. Hey Barley. He's 14 and doesn't hear what anybody's saying most of the time. Oh, here's the lovely shelves that my husband mostly made. I helped a little bit. But I'm so happy to have those over there on that kind of space that was wasted, and all kinds of nonsense would end up over there. Let's see. There's my little Instapot cart and my lovely tea cabinet. Some of my beautiful house plants. They don't always look beautiful. It just depends on if I've paid attention to them. Most of the time I do. Occasionally I look over and they're starting to get limp and I feel horribly guilty. So then I take really good care of them. Here's the steam juicer that I used to make the grape juice. Here's our little teeny tiny sit on the countertop, take up room dishwasher that we treated ourselves to this year. We've been here for 5 years, washing dishes by hand all the time. Such a pain in the rear end. So it really helps, even if it just does like the glasses and the silverware and that kind of thing. All right. I'm going to get things set up and be back. Since I am quadrupling this recipe, I am now going to add 1 cup of lemon juice. And I'm going to carefully not spill 1/3 cup of this calcium water. I'm using Pomona Pectin's. It's low sugar pectin. I'm going to turn this on so we can get this party started here. I'm using Pomona Pectin. It's low sugar. I think maybe it's even no sugar. I'm not positive, but it's a definitely low sugar. Most pectins require like 50+% of the recipe to be sugar. That's horrible. I mean, that's horrific, really. Let's see. In this recipe, it is going to be right here. And remember, I'm quadrupling this, so it will be 3/4 and 3/4 is 1.5, 1.5, 3 cups of sugar. That's it, to 16 cups of juice. If I was making this regular, with regular pectin, that would be 16 cups of sugar. Wait, 8 cups of sugar. 8+ cups of sugar. That's gross. This grape juice is so good. All by itself. We didn't add anything to it. There was about 1 quart left over for us to taste test, and it was so yummy. So I'm gonna now wait for that to come up to a boil, and I'm gonna measure out my sugar, and I'll be back. I'm also sterilizing my jars in my water bath canner. They've been washed thoroughly, but I like to put them in some boiling water so that they're sterilized. And that way I also know if there's enough water in the canner. Okay, my canning water is boiling, so I am just pulling my jars out of the water. They are definitely nice and sterilized now. And the grape juice has the calcium water in it and the lemon juice. Let me just get this last jar here. And then I have to get the jars underneath. But this is boiling nicely. I'm going to finish taking out my jars. I am going to mix up the powdered pectin, which is that on top, and the sugar, which is only 3 cups of sugar, which is amazing. I'm going to stir that up, and then I'll bring you back. We're going to take this sugar pectin mixture, and I'm going to, whew, so hot, dump it into the juice. I'm going to quickly give this a good stir for a minute or two so that the sugar and the pectin dissolve thoroughly. If there's any foam on the top, I will skim it off, and then we bring this back up to a rapid boil. And we'll go from there. It's so hot in this kitchen right now. We do not have central air. We have an air conditioner in our bedroom, thankfully, and we have an air conditioner in the living room. And that helps to keep us cool if we're sitting and relaxing, reading, watching TV. You know, that cooler air kind of creeps out this way a little bit, but the kitchen's 2 rooms away. And, you know, we have a decent amount of windows in this kitchen. And this side of the kitchen here gets all of the morning sun until about noon or so. So it stays pretty hot. I'm just putting a little dash of vinegar into my canning water, and that helps if you have hard water. You know, it doesn't leave deposits onto your canning jars. Let's see. So this is weirdly how I can tell what the temperature is in the kitchen right now on my meat thermometer. Oh, but I don't want to be touching the metal part. Let's see. All right. So it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit in this kitchen right now. Oh, way too hot for me. Okay, what was I doing? I'm doing something. Oh, yep. I'm waiting for this to come back to a boil. I'm gonna scoop some of this foam off the top and go from there. As tedious as it might be, you really do want to do this quickly, but you want to try to get as much of this foam off the top as possible. It's not going to affect the taste of the jelly. It's just, you know, it'll look nicer if this foam is not on the top of your jars when you open them up. So, just gonna get out what I can. Oh, looks like I'm having my own little jelly facial here. Grape jelly facials. I've also put on a tea kettle of water to boil just in case the water that's in the canner doesn't completely cover the jars. It's always easier, faster for the canning process if you add in hot water to your already hot water. Otherwise, it has to take time to boil up that water. So we're almost at a point here where I am happy with the film removal. I don't want to get rid of too much of the juice, so I'm just gonna scrape around the edges here a little bit. I think we'll call that good. Okay, now my funnel. Where is my funnel? Here is my funnel. I'm gonna start filling these jars, and I believe we leave a 1/2 inch headspace. I don't have one of those tools, those little measuring tools for headspace. I used to, but what I find is that on these jars, this right here to the top is about 1 inch. And so the middle of that is about a 1/2 inch, and then right about there is a 1/4 inch. So I just kind of eyeball it. I'm going to get these filled up quick so it doesn't start to gel on me. And then we'll put them in the canner. Okay, so the next thing that we do is you take a little rag, washcloth, something. You dip it in a little vinegar, a little water, whatever your preference. Vinegar, water is fine too. And you just run it around the rim of your jar, especially with something this sticky. Well, you always want to get everything off, but you want to make quadruple sure that you get everything off with something sticky. And then we're just taking a lid, popping it on, taking a ring, gotta tighten it really quick, which I can't do with my phone. You just do it fingertip tight. You turn it, you're not like using your whole wrist to turn, you're just like boop, and that's it. And then you're gonna put your jar in here with all the other jars. And these little buddies are gonna have a nice hot sauna bath shortly. Let's see, so there are 16 total. I should have done this when I did not have the phone in my hand. We're gonna drop this down into the water. We're gonna put this thingy in, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a little shelf or a tray so that you can put a second layer of jars if they're small enough, and these 1/2 pints are always small enough. So looks like I'm definitely going to need that teapot full of water and maybe some more, which kind of stinks because that'll bring the water temperature down. But let's see. One more for the bath. Okay. Now, technically, they're supposed to be covered by 1 inch or 2 of water. This top level is just covered. So, by adding this hot tea kettle, should be just enough. I was hoping to have a little extra to make some tea, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to find the lid. Here's the lid. Here's my hubby. He's home from work.
Hello, everyone.
Eating his yummy dinner. I'm going to do that momentarily myself. All right. We bring this up to a rolling boil. Let it boil for 10 minutes, turn it off, let it sit for about 5 minutes, pull them out and let them cool on the counter. And I will show you what they look like when they're all done. Oh, here's our other dog, Grace. She's wherever the food is all the time. They both are, but she's the worst. Here comes Mr. Bean. Barley Bean. All right. See you shortly. All right. Pulling some of the jars out. Now, what a lot of people do, you see the water on the top? That will evaporate. A lot of people tilt to get rid of the water. And if the seal is not properly in place yet, you could have seepage and it could affect the seal. You don't want to, that it's so hot that these are just going to, all this water is going to evaporate. Look, that's the first one I took out. The water's already gone. Almost gone, almost gone. You can see the water evaporating from this one. It happens so quickly because it's just so hot. So there's no need to tilt your jars and risk a seal failure. None at all. Besides, it's just water. If it doesn't all evaporate off, you can wipe it off. All right. Now I need to get this out. This is always a problem. Let's see. It's so hot. You don't want to touch it. Let me put it in the sink or close to the sink. All the dishes that I have to do. Now, these are just going to sit here. Hopefully we're going to hear some popping, and that means that the jars are sealing, and that is music to a canner's ears. Oh, I should have showed you that one. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, oh, it just went down. Dag nabbit. Anyway, that little dimple, that little indentation, when that makes that pop noise, and then it gets sucked in instead of sticking out a little bit. Let's see. Let's see if this one will do it in a timely fashion. So you can see that, whoop, there it went. Just that easy. Sucked it down, and that means that it's now vacuum sealed. I love it. Whoop, that one did it before I even set it down. So now I have 16 half pints of jelly. This is not Concord grape jelly, so that's why it's not, you know, like a deep purple. These are red flame grapes. So they're definitely more of a little pinky. They taste excellent. Now we're just going to leave them sit. 24 hours, I will take these rings off, and then you test to make sure that the seals are good. You give them a good wipe down, and you store them. That is more than enough jelly, probably for well over a year, possibly 2 years. I'm really the only jelly eater in the family. My husband will have jelly occasionally. My son, my youngest, who still lives at home, not so much. So if I'm the only one who's eating jelly, it's going to last a good long time. All right, this is just the little tiny bit that was left that didn't fit in a jar. And look at it, I put it in the fridge. And that looks really good. That's a really good gel. I'm very happy with that. All right, everyone. It is so super hot in this kitchen. I am going to dish myself up some of that yummy dinner. Well, my husband said I'm holding the camera too close. I don't think it matters really because my face is larger than it should be anyway. But let's see if that's any better. I am going to dish myself up some yummy kielbasa potatoes and veggies. And I'm going to go sit down in the air conditioning for a little while because it's super hot. And I'm also going to take a little taste of this jelly. Mm. That's going to be really good when it's colder. Yum. All right. Toodaloo for now.